everybody, what is up? I am Kid Cadet, joined always by the fantabulous Miss Sweet D, Danica Jenelle. How you doing, girl?
Hi, doing wonderful.
Sorry about the slight delay. We were all having internet issues today. It's fine. It's totally fine. I say without any further ado, let's bring in our guest. He is the one and only Nic Nemeth, ladies and gentlemen. What's up?
Hi.
Cool, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
No worries, guys. We'll just translate, okay? No, we still can't hear you. Gosh, and that introduction was absolutely flawless. Man, all right, it's all right. Do you want to try exiting and coming back in again, Nic?
I think that's a yes.
This is going swimmingly so far.
Yes, it's going really
okay.
well. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Danica. I mean, things are, you know, the world is a little crazy right now, but I think the best thing about doing these weekly streams is that while we're all so far apart, we still get to be together. So, you know,
safely.
You know what? How about this? Let's throw everyone for like a little loop, and probably the guests we're going to bring on too, because we also have Chris Van Vliet. So why don't we pop him up in the meantime?
What?
We have Chris Van Vliet hanging out too.
And you know, I might not have blonde hair, but I'm wearing a Dolph Ziggler shirt, so it's pretty much like I am Dolph Ziggler.
It's like literally the next best thing.
Thank you guys for having me on again.
Thank you so much, Chris. We had a blast when you were here last time, so thank you for coming back.
You guys are awesome. And I have, for anyone who's watching this right now going, who is that guy? Well, I've interviewed Dolph Ziggler like I think 19 times or something like that. So I was looking forward to hanging out with him again here.
Okay, 19 times? That has to be a record of some sort.
I don't know. Maybe it was only 17 times, but I don't know. But, you know, we're on that path right now. This is interview number 2 with you guys in the last few weeks. So you're killing it. You guys are rocking it during the quarantine.
You're so sweet. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, this has been a lot of fun, but I know that we're definitely ready to get back out there and, you know, start doing conventions and stuff again. But in the meantime, you know, while we're all home wearing our masks and washing our hands, you know, in the meantime, we'll be doing this. So,
well, I think, look, we've all had to pivot. We've all had to pivot. We all had plans that was supposed to happen over the last 3 months. A lot of these interviews were supposed to happen in person, I'm sure. But you guys have done a great job of when the world went right, you also went right, and you figured out a way to make this work.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So in the meantime, Chris, let's talk about your YouTube videos, and you also have the Chris Van Vliet clip show. Is that what we're calling it, the clip show?
Yeah. So, you know, the interviews that I have on my YouTube channel, the long form, you know, 45 to an hour long interviews, and I've been clipping them out on a separate channel. So there's a separate YouTube channel to just watch, like, you know, you want to taste, you want just a little taster of these interviews.
A nibble.
Yeah. You can go on there and see 3 to 5 minute clips instead of having to spend an entire hour. You know, it's kind of like a little taster. Like, you know, when you go to a brewery and you get the flight of beers, that's what this is.
Oh, that's delightful.
Okay, we got a spinning circle.
That looks like the guy.
Can you hear us? No, he can't hear us. Oh my God.
Is nothing working?
No,
oh, hey.
Wait. He speaks.
I hear you.
Can you hear us? Maybe, kind of, possibly.
Can you hear us? Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm ruining everything.
Oh my God, no, you're
I can
fine.
hear you.
We can kind of hear you. Are you back on a computer now or off the phone? What's happening?
I know, but it's not working.
Uh-oh.
Well,
it's not working on his end now. Okay.
It's all right. This is totally fine.
It's going well.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a still frame for your viewing enjoyment. I mean, it's not a bad still frame.
I mean, it's a pretty good one.
That is a handsome man.
Good job.
Anyway, Chris, so as we stare, oh, there he goes again.
Oh, man.
So tomorrow you have an interview with Mark Henry. Is that correct? Tomorrow you're interviewing with Mark Henry?
Yeah, and I have you guys to thank for making this happen. Aww. So I was supposed to do an interview in person with Mark Henry towards the end of last year, and then things didn't happen. You know, other things came up. And then when we did this panel together a few weeks ago with you guys, at the end of the interview, I said, I'd love to have you on sometime. And he's like, anytime. And I reached out to him and we made that happen. So It officially
We
airs
love bringing people
tomorrow.
together.
And yeah, it was so much fun. He's amazing how he has this incredible enthusiasm for life and this infectious smile that no matter, what you're talking about, it just, he lights up a room.
And what can you tell us? Because one of the clips that I watched was about Mae Young and the birth of the hand. And you're curious if the hand was always the way that they were going to go.
Yeah, and I asked that because, we know the storylines. Oh, wait, could it be?
I don't know at this point.
This looks promising.
It looks less frozen.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me talk?
Yes.
Oh my
Hear
God.
us
Okay.
Did we do it?
No, there's no way it's going to work. But yeah, I mean, for now. For a second, yeah.
Well, in the meantime, we were just
Went back and forth.
Okay, well, I
Feel
guess
positive.
let's try to get in whatever questions we can now before we, inevitably lose Nick. And plus, it is Monday and therefore Monday Night Raw. So, all right. And obviously, Van Vliet, feel free to jump in whenever you feel.
No, please. No one wants to see me. Please talk to Nick.
Okay. All right, Nick. So we were going to do this whole intro spiel and we'll just totally throw that out the door. What is the first stand-up special that you remember watching?
One of the very first ones I saw was Dice Clay as a kid, and I didn't really understand it, which is okay. And I think my parents turned it off halfway through. Also, one of the first ones that I can remember, we got comedy, understood stuff, was Dave Chappelle. I don't know if it's Killing Me Softly or something else. Really long time ago, before his show and all. Before he killed it, but I can go back and watch that, and it holds up, and it's great. And he's a killer. And of course, the very first album I got down from LimeWire or whatever. You could download music and ruin your friend's computers by downloading the music or whatever.
That's the one.
All viruses and all this stuff. I got Don Rickles' Hello Dummy 1962, and it's him in Vegas opening for Ed Sullivan or something, and he didn't even have a set. He just did crowd work for an hour, and then it was pretty cool. It's a different time and different jokes. Very truly tasteless jokes book collections that I have, very along those lines, but still. It's about timing sometimes too.
So the next question is probably a really hard question to answer, but that's kind of how we like it. So what do you think is the best
molecular
bit?
biology?
That is the answer.
The best bit ever written.
The best bit ever? Good God.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you answer this all the time? You guys have a go back and forth?
Every week, yes.
Okay. While I stammer and backpedal until I go like this to Flair, what do you guys usually say?
For the best bit ever written?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind, and maybe the most iconic, would be George Carlin.
Yeah.
Like the words that you can't say.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Or maybe something from Mitch. Now I'm not remembering his last name. Yeah, Mitch Hedberg. Yeah.
Oh God, what a killer! Yeah. He's that's some smart stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, this is all open for interpretation. And Chris, we want to hear your answer as well. You're going to too.
I'm going to do the same thing the Nick's doing, going that's what a tough question to answer, right? Because there's so many incredible bits. But I think that one of the most iconic for sure is the George Carlin bit that you talked about. And I think that a lot of great comedians would go back to that. Although maybe something from Eddie Murphy's Raw, because I mean, that's such a great special, but I don't know specifically what bit from that.
Excellent. Your turn. I'm last.
Go ahead, Danica.
I mean, it's kind of one of the ones that I saw more recently, but it's Billy Connolly doing a bit about South American flutes. It cracks me up just thinking about it.
Is this a fake bit, but you're just getting us to laugh along with you?
No,
pretty
this
good. I believe
is a legit thing that Billy Connolly, you got to look it up. It's on one of his bigger specials because Billy Connolly, I mean, his accent alone just is great. So.
I'll try and ramble and say a couple different things. I like that Rodney Dangerfield can talk for a long time without just doing the one-liners, like Milton Berle one-liners, and he could just go off and be kind of psychotic. But there's a guy, Brian Regan, who's been around for a really, really, really long time. Clean, doesn't work blue, and he's a nice guy, and he just has these problems, and you can tell that he's losing his mind inside his face while he doesn't swear, he doesn't get upset, and I think he has a bit about when everybody was trying to do their science projects, and he forgot to do it in fourth grade the whole year, and the night before he just brought in like a cup of dirt, and the teacher made fun of him, and he's like, someone had a solar system, because that was someone who had like help from their parents, and he's like, the middle one is the sun, and like everyone's applauding, and like I can't really do it justice, but he's someone who it's so smart and crazy, and he's boiling inside his mind, but he's speaking in a very non-blue, non-threatening way. And I like that there's like a maniac behind that hidden face, because we're all liars or whatever.
I'm curious what the best Nic Nemeth.
I really like the shark on Saturday Night Live, Chevy Chase. Also, it's not smart, but it is smart because it's a bit and it's goofy, but he's also doing a bit like clearly there's not going to be a shark that's eating people on land. Yeah, like Candygram, post office. But there's some, if you break it down, there's this nonsensical shark. They're playing the Jaws music. They know about the shark that lies at the door, and they still go, all right, this time. And all of that is still almost goofy, but the shark gets caught a couple of times when he's saying post office, Candygram, whatever. And then there's like, wait a minute, you're that clever shark. And the shark has to think on his feet like a smart person. And he's like, milkman or something. And it's so funny because he doesn't just say the line. He's thinking on his feet because usually he eats the person on land based on this one Candygram line. And now he's stammering on his feet to where he says the same one again or he like mumbles something. And I think there's some genius to that. Thank God I had something.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen anyone so passionate about anything in my entire life.
I'm more passionate about Chevy's bits than he is, I assume, but still.
Okay, to segue off of that, and it's another conversation that Danica and I were having recently about our favorite SNL cast members.
Oof.
Would you say that Chevy's your favorite cast member or like even a favorite era?
So I'm home a lot watching stuff, and I usually don't watch a lot of stuff. My TV has the first 5 seasons of SNL on demand, and then like 30 through now. So those first 5, I thought forever. I know Chevy did like a season and a half. I knew that was it, and he wanted to be a movie star. But Paul Schaefer is like a hero on this show. And if you don't know the first 5 seasons, there's a bunch of stuff that, even if you're a grown-up, not that funny, but that's life. But we kind of glorify it. But there's a couple things that are crazy and smart and like punk rock, crazy ideas and so cool that I didn't get as a kid. But I've watched those first 5 seasons. Paul Schaefer is in he's a record producer. He's always playing the piano for Nick Winters as Bill Murray. But he plays instruments in a band. He'll be a cop. He'll be somebody who plays a flute. He can play every instrument there is, and then he plays all these characters. And in my head, I saw like the first 3 seasons, and I go, Paul Schaefer's been in more, like twice as many skits or sketches than Chevy Chase, like by far. And I go, that's a crazy thing. And I was like, I got to do the homework and figure it out. Phil Hartman, I guess is like one of those utility players. You could put him anywhere, and he's friggin' awesome. But I have a kind of a cool story. I was very lucky to see John Lovitz about 8 or 9 years ago do stand-up. And after the stand-up show, everybody, it's just like if you're out at Waffle House or something, and someone's like, I'm not going to be that guy who interrupts you as they're interrupting you. And you're like, but you are. And then so I was like, I don't know, man. I'm going to be the guy that I get mad at. They come over to me because they're saying, hey, I don't want to interrupt you while they're interrupting. Whatever. So I was like, hey, man, big fan. I had an in, though, because we were doing celebrity guest host for Raw. And he was going to be, I heard he was on the upcoming schedule. So he's sitting there eating, of course. And I'm like, this is the thing I hate the most. I go, hey, sorry to bother you. Hey, man, that was a great show. Just want to know, I'm with WWE. I know you're coming to be a guest host. I think that's pretty cool. And he's like eating, and he's like, wait, what? And he's like, lights up. He's like, oh, really? Sit down. And I go, no way. Because I would never say that to a stranger, no matter what they told me. They're like, I have $1 million cash for you in this sack. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Like, or show me half first. But it's like, he says, sit down. I go, get out of here. I'm with a very good friend of mine, and we were laughing. We had like 20 dirty martinis, and we were laughing the entire time anyway, before he even said anything, just like when he walks on stage. And we go back and forth, and he's like, oh, what do you do there? Which is, of course, I'm like, kind of the champion. And he's like, oh, yeah, oh, cool. He's like, I thought you carried the jackets or something. Like, yeah, I know. So we go back and forth, and we're talking, and I mean, I have this crazy love of Saturday Night Live. I've seen them all, and he's one of my absolute favorite guys. We get to a point, I think a couple hours, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened. A couple hours goes by, and I'm kicking my friend under the table and pinching her wrist, going, do you believe that we're joking around right now? And we're like kidding around. He has a million questions about wrestling and what's real and who gets hurt and why is this? And he has ideas for finishing moves. And I'm like, so Chevy he's the only one who likes Chevy? Like, I'm at, you know what I mean? So we're going back and forth. We get to a point where he's having so much fun. He stands up, and I want to get this right. Sandra Bernhard hosted. And he told me this story. He goes, I had this master thespian, which is a sketch that he does. I don't know if you guys know, where he's like this Shakespearean actor, and he takes everything so seriously, and he's hilarious. And he said he had one from when she hosted, but something along the lines like it got through dress rehearsal and didn't make it, so it never made a TV. He stands up and does the entire monologue as master to me and my friend at a table, and he's like, oh, like how he does. I don't know, I can't do it, but he does this, and I'm kicking her so hard she had bruises on her skin. I'm like, this is why. How is this happening? Like he's giving us a free show. Like it doesn't make any sense. He was a sweetheart. He comes to Raw. He had a finishing move with like a neck pinch. We took a picture and like posted. He had all these plans, and we stayed in contact. And this guy, not only is a sweet, when he has shows, he'll be like, hey, you want to come to this show? He's the nicest friggin' guy in the world, and he's so damn funny. He's someone that when he's on stage, he's funny being a comedian, and that's fine. But when he's sitting down and going, yeah, this or that, and you picture him like saying it like in his like nasally voice as a bit, and he's being serious, it's the funniest damn thing in the world, and it's amazing. So,
wow.
Some kind of SNL time.
That is awesome. And I did appreciate the hints of the impression that you did have in there. I saw a glimmer. Thank you for that. Did you guys feel like we were there with them?
I was right there.
Do you have bruises on your shins where I was kicking you guys?
Well, okay, Chris, do you have a favorite SNL cast member?
Well, I don't have a story like that. Although I met John Lovitz. I interviewed him when I was living in Cleveland. And he's, as Nick said, like the nicest, sweetest man. And I remember he was like, how old are you? And I think I just turned 30. And he's like, oh, well, you look great. You still have your dark hair. I'm like, oh, I actually found a gray hair the other day. And I'll never forget this. He says, if it grays, it stays. And I'm like, that's great advice.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget that.
If it grays, it stays. I like that. I'm gonna use that.
If it grays, it stays. My favorite cast member has got to be Chris Farley, because when you think of some of the most iconic bits in SNL history, Chris Farley is part of them. People are still reciting the van down by the river or fat guy in a little coat, all these different things. So without telling a great story about being in a diner and kicking my friend in the shins, that is my answer.
We'll take it, Chris. You can stay. You're fine. And since you mentioned Chevy Chase, I wanted to ask you, I know you're a big fan of the film Fletch. Is that your favorite film? Is that your favorite work from Chevy?
It's up there. I'll make this quick. I like the books. I like the books a lot, and there's like 8 of them or something, but the original Fletch book, before it was a movie, before Chevy Chase became Fletch, I saw the movie first. I went back and read the book, and it is written like Chevy Chase was the main character, except he's like a younger hippie kid doesn't wear shoes or something, but it was written by a long time ago. But there's little quips and lines that Chevy does in real life or in his bit, and it was like you're reading it. I was reading it as Chevy Chase without knowing, so it's so funny and smart and witty and goofy. But I love those books. I reread them all the time. And there's a really fun thing. I was supposed to go on spring break my senior year of college. I made a deal with my parents, if I did, by the time I was graduating, they would give me a couple $100 so I could possibly go on spring break. So we get to my senior year of college, And the National Wrestling Tournament is the same week as spring break. So technically, it's like 2 or 3 days with spring break 7 or whatever. A bunch of 15 of my friends are staying in one hotel room in Panama City at a Howard Johnson, and there's 4 of us in two bunk beds and people on the floor and all that stuff to be able to pay for it, which is great. It makes it even more fun. And so, of course, stupid me being so awesome at wrestling, I'm wrestling the national tournament for a couple of days and ruining my vacation. So we get to it. It's the week before, and my parents are like, "Oh yeah, we don't have a couple $100 to give you. Sorry." I'm like, "Okay, wait." So I could figure this out. I could still go. They gave us a per diem for the NCAAs where you get $22 a day or something. So I just took the water. I drank water out of the sink in our hotel room and saved the $67 or something. And then I was able to loan the money and pay my friend to sit with 15 of us on spring break at the Howard Johnson. That was pretty gross. So I joined them 2.5, 3 days in. We had the greatest time of our lives, and just one of these days where it was all day we were having fun, and all night we were having fun. It's when I was younger, when I could wake up at 6 a.m. without a headache, and for some reason it was 6 a.m. and we had all woken up, and Flex was on, and we sat there watching it, and we were just in the middle of this crazy carefree Panama City beach with no shoes on, and we're just it's out the window, and everyone's around having fun, and there was no one. I didn't have to watch out for anybody. I was we're all just, you're on your own, and just laughed so hard that we quoted that movie for the next. I think we still, since I switched to my phone, I'm in 2 different group chats that still quote Fletch and Fletch Lives and Caddyshack, and they were coming up while I was telling this. Not those quotes, but the groups that I'm in. And it just reminds me of the greatest time we had. And I even eventually got 5 of us the Lakers jerseys with Fletch on the back that we all kind of wore for a couple times going downtown to Shooters, eventually.
Oh, love Shooters.
All right, so to kind
it's
of
all on the up and up.
What?
It's all on the up and up. It's not like the Lido Lounge or anything yet.
Oh. Okay, so just to kind of segue away from that for a little bit, we have to talk about Motley Crue being
Sure.
one of the greatest bands in the entire existence. And unfortunately, with everything going on, they had to postpone for about a year, which, more time to practice, right? Do you remember the first time, Nick, that you ever got to see them live?
I hope it's this, because I just found a CD when I was cleaning out a room that had their Vegas. They did a Vegas residency. I want it maybe 8 years ago or something, and it probably wasn't the first. It was probably the second or third time I saw them. But they did Vegas at the Hard Rock, and they did. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 shows there in 2 weeks or something. And me and my crew friends, who we all Brad Attitude, Mrs. Brad Attitude, and another friend of ours.
A crew, I like that.
A crew. And we go check them out. We saw them a bunch on our final tour, but it was Vegas. It was at the Hard Rock, which I love anyway. And we were there in town for 2 days. We were gonna stay in town, screw around, and sit around by the pool, go see them at night, and then just fly out the next day. And then it came to be that we saw that it was the greatest time. It was so cool. They played a different set list than they did for the last 3 years of their tours. It was kind of cool. They went a little farther, and there's a bunch of fire and stuff, so it made it cool. I think it was an evening in hell with Motley Crue or something like that. And so we saw them and wow, that was so great. Well, I guess tomorrow we'll just hang out all day, get lunch. We kind of built up, and it was over with. And a friend of mine who worked at Hard Rock goes, "Hey man, I got 4 more tickets for the next night." And we're like, "What?" We went back and saw the same. So I had purchased these tickets, and they're Motley Crue stuff. They're pretty expensive. It's like a 2,000 seat arena, maybe 1,800 or something. And then he's like, "Hey man," and then we just got free ones the next day. And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it's just you stand in the back. It's like standing room only, and you're up against the bar." I go, "We don't care. It's awesome." So we go, and we're there, and it's not. There's a couple random rows that are 3 or 4 seats on the end, and we just keep creeping up, and we sat 2 times closer than the nicer seats than the expensive seats that I had paid for the day before, and we just kept waiting for someone to come bust us. And then a group of ladies came in and were like, "We take your seats." We're like, "Are you sure? We paid." And they're like, "Oh man, I don't know, maybe." And then they just walked off, and then that was it. So we had fantastic seats, And I have the CD, like the set list, what they started off with, and I just had it put it in my car yesterday. Just reminds me of being there like 8 years ago and just screwing around having fun for 2 days. So,
Hell yeah.
love those
Awesome.
guys.
Chris, have you had the opportunity to see them play live?
No, I haven't seen them, but now after hearing this story, I feel like I need to see them 2 nights in a row.
You got, to get the full effect.
Yeah.
But my friend Brad and I, we know that we got to a point in their last tour. We know that we double check their set list from the night before and stuff, so we knew to take our pee breaks. Because if I'm having, a couple of whiskeys, I have to time out my pees for a song. I'm not, I have to miss one or two songs.
Are you taking breaks, Nick?
Smoking in the boys' room. Terrible cover, terrible song. It's not their song. It's okay. So, and I got to sit there and hold it. I'm like, oh God, where's it? He's like, oh, he starts telling a story. He goes into smoking later. And so we know, even if I don't have to pee, Brad and myself, we will turn around, and put our backs to that terrible song and that terrible cover. But the rest of the ways, they rock, and I like them a lot. And there's like 15 songs that I love that they don't play because they run out of their 20 songs that they play on the show or something.
All right. Okay. Well, Danica, I think is going to ask one more question. Then we have a game we're going to play. So
well, we of course have to ask about one of the other best bands ever, Steel Panther.
Of course.
So, do you remember? Have you seen them live? And how many?
A bunch.
Times? Do you remember the first time?
Man, I'm pretty sure that's another Vegas story. The parts I can tell.
Was John Lovitz there? No.
I wish he was. He might have been. It wasn't with me. So let's see. So that we did something. The crew and I went to see Motley on their last tour in Dallas. And I got shirts made that says Crew does Dallas with some like dirty picture or something on it, whatever. So I get these shirts made and they're in my checked bag. And I fly in right from work. We're doing 2 nights in Dallas because we're going to go see Motley Crue, we'll hang out for a day and we'll leave. We go to get there and my luggage doesn't make it. So we don't have these T-shirts for this concert, and I'm like, what a bummer. The stretchy ones too, they're great. Nice spot where we can all cut it. We can cut out, some parts. So I'm super bummed out, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be there this afternoon. Don't worry about it. Because I flew in like 9 a.m. I keep checking, keep going out there. No, we got to go to the show without the shirts that I had made, and it sucks. Whatever. And of course, it's a great time. And by the way, I don't even want to wear a shirt there anyway. I'm usually wearing a vest and some spikes or something, so it's fine. So we go. We have the best time ever. It's so fun. We find I can't say that part. We do.
Okay.
We have a fun time. We have a great time, and then we find a place like across the street from the arena, and they're like super cool. One guy said he knew me from wrestling. He was the head guy who owned the place, and he let us like turn up we played like Crew and Steel Panther on their jukebox all night long. They let us do whatever. So the next night it's like Vegas. We have that extra night there, and we're like, yeah, we're due. An old friend of mine from Cleveland, I go, I think he lives in Dallas. I'm like, hey man, he goes, oh yeah, I work at House of Blues. I'm like, oh, that's funny because Billy Idol's there tonight. You think me and my friends can come check him out? He's like, yeah, no problem. I haven't talked to this guy in 15 years. He's a sweetheart. He was so nice. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I got downstairs one more time to check to see if they had my suitcase from the day before. And they said, no, but you can go look in the back in like their storage room. I go and look. It's been there for a day and a half. It's been there since like an hour after I got there. I'm like, no. So I go get a suitcase. I'm like, damn it. And they go like, oh, yeah, that. We didn't know it was yours, that black suitcase. Like, oh, yeah, my bad. So we put the shirts on, but now we're going to Billy Idol, and we all have Motley Crue, whatever, and then we're like, my friend gets us like VIP something, so we're like standing by him, like getting our picture taken. He's like, "What's the freaking shirts?" Like, sorry, bro, you were, don't worry, we wore all the Billy Idol shirts to the Motley Crue concert yesterday, so it all worked out. They said they would send us a picture, but I think they were so mad that we all had Motley Crue shirts on that they never sent us the picture of it with him, so we'll never know how it goes.
Rude.
But one of the times that same group of people I had, we were in, I was doing a comedy show and they were playing afterwards or the night after, whatever. And I met the same group, my crew of people. We went and partied, and some other friends, and I saw them live, I think like the night before, like a WWE show or something, and we had the most fun friggin' time. Because that's like, I'll catch myself at the gym if I have them on. You can't really sing their lyrics out loud without getting in trouble. So I have to like mouth it, you know. And then so when you get to one of these concerts, and we all know all the words to every stupid song, that you can yell them out here, and so it's, you know, a safe space or whatever the hell. But, I love those guys. I like when they screw around and play songs that we like from the 80s and 90s. And here's the coolest part. I like their songs that they make. Like, how great is that? Like, that's a win-win. I like that.
Heck yeah. Okay, so before we get into the game, obviously we have to comment on your shirt, Britney Spears. We love her. Oh. Now, Chris and Nick, have you been following her epic adventures on Instagram? I mean, her videos have just been so sensational lately. They are...
First of all, lately's fine. Hey guys, I burned down my gym. Something happened. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Something happened and I burned down my gym. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. And then she like twirls around and does a little fashion show or whatever. She's the best. She is the absolute best.
Nick's a bigger Britney Spears fan than he is a Chevy Chase fan. Despite the story that he told before.
Okay.
How do you not, even if you hated her music or hate that she's, you know, lip syncs or whatever, if you follow her on Instagram, you'd want to saint her or something. I don't know. She's such a we need to free Britney also, so we gotta go help.
That's
for sure. But it's so
I volunteer to go help her personally.
What an angel. No, it's so funny, like the people that we talk to that like turn out to be huge Britney Spears fans, like Corey Taylor, the singer of Slipknot, huge Britney fan.
Wow.
Awesome.
They're out there, folks. All right.
They're out there. They won't be shamed anymore. We won't be shamed. I'm a fan. That's one of my favorite things to do. My friend of mine, Jeanette, that was with me for John Lovitz, every year we'd go see Britney, and this last time she moved to a different Vegas hotel and then canceled all the shows. Before everybody canceled all their shows, she had like this whole tour set up at a new Vegas spot. Yeah, she was like always ahead of the time. So pretty soon we'll all be burning down our home gyms, I'm sure. So.
On it. All right. So at this time, we are going to play a little game. Now, Nick and Chris, I apologize. The name of this game is really cheesy. I thought of it and I was like, this is embarrassing, but we're going to go for it. This is a game of Would You Rather. So let's see if we can get the graphic up on the screen. The game is called Zigger Zag.
Wow.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. All right. So like I said, this
great
is
logo.
Oh, thank you.
That should be a t-shirt.
I want it to be my gear.
All right. Well, Danica is actually going to read the first one. So let's see how this goes.
Let's jump in. All right. Would you rather wear the red leather Eddie Murphy Delirious outfit or wear Dave Chappelle's jumpsuit?
Do I go first?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
I didn't mean to assume.
Oh, please.
Couple things. One, for WrestleMania in front of fans, I had a flight suit like he has on, but it was going to be leopard print and spikes and pink all over it. It was going to be friggin' awesome. But 100% any other day of the week, Eddie Murphy. You can do that in an assortment of colors. You can leave it open, Shinsuke style. You do whatever freaky thing you want to do. I like it. I like to feel that sweat to where you can't rip it off, but it's choking you, but you got to go steal the show. Like that.
I got to go with Nick here. I mean, that is iconic, right? You don't need to know a single word from Delirious to know that is exactly what Eddie Murphy wore during this. But I can only imagine how sticky that would be on the inside.
Oh, somebody has to pull you out of it.
Thing off after sweating on stage.
Oh yeah.
Gross.
You gotta get some help. I'm sure you help.
All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is, would you rather rock out in the Warrant Cherry Pie music video or Snake, Here I Go Again?
I'm going to take this one and go with Whitesnake. Here I go again. Because, I mean, come on. How great would I look on the hood of that car?
Smart. That's a very smart idea. One, I am as athletic as I am in a ring or on a football field in rollerblades and little shorts, not the same deal. So I'd spill the cherry pie. We'd have to do a bunch of takes, probably had a white floor. I would run everything, send them back a day. I think we go Whitesnake is Here I Go Again on my own. It's something I like to listen to on my own. Like, yeah, screw it, you know. And then of course Tawny dancing on the hood of the car, which I will at my first comedy album will be very similar to that.
We will wait very patiently for that one. All right, here's the next one.
Yes. Would you rather live in the Simpsons universe or the Archer universe?
Simpsons, iconic, 30-something seasons. My entire family quotes it every single day. I watch a couple a night. It cannot be touched. Archer, season 1 is the smartest, funniest damn thing I have ever seen in my life. And I don't mind that I loaned out the persona to them as much as they changed the hair, which is fine. But crazy stuff that I was writing years ago in notebooks, along the lines of, but not as smart, but smart and funny and sexy and cool. And H. John Benjamin's voice is the coolest voice ever. I hope he's everybody from here on out. I love a tight little backstory is everybody was kind of molded around who they really were to have the person turn into that character, except for H. John Benjamin as Archer. They had a male model with it was all jacked. I go, that makes it so much better. I think it's so funny. Pam's fantastic. Oh my God. Saying Lana in Danger Zone, I've been saying it for 5 years, and I got to do it for a year on TV with Lana, and it was my favorite thing to freaking do in the world.
Oh man.
I'm going with Springfield for sure. And I grew up watching the show and loving The Simpsons. And I think it's a good barometer when you throw out a line from The Simpsons to see the reaction from the other person. Yeah. And if they have this blank look on their face, you're like, oh, you're not cool.
Can't be friends.
One of the lines I throw out all the time, Nick, you'll know this, is when they go to the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, and then they, Homer ends up suing them. When they're in court and they say, "Do these sound like the actions of a man who's had all he can eat?" And if someone gets that, I'm like, "Oh, I'm
better than that." They go when they said they kicked him out of the restaurant. I thought you were going here. The greatest line.
What did we do next?
Funniest.
We pretty much went straight home.
We went home. Mrs. Simpson, need I remind you, you're under oath. Well, we looked for some more all-you-can-eat seafood places, and when they were closed, we went fishing. God, that's friggin' genius! That might be my favorite line that they've ever said.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do these sound like the actions of a man who's had all-you-can-eat?
Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh, what a lie!
I'm with you.
All right, we're gonna move along because we only have about 10 more minutes. So. Here's the next one. We have, would you rather be a prop comedian like Carrot Top or a prop comedian like Gallagher? You can also determine which Gallagher we are speaking of. That's part of it as well.
Genius.
Wow.
Chris, I would love to hear your thoughts here.
This is, you know what? I'm going to go with Carrot Top. I'm going to go with Carrot Top because he's still crushing it. And he looks like he could go in the ring and go head to head with you, Dolph. Because
I appreciate how jacked he is. Huge fan of that. I'm pretty sure there's a mental image of Daniel Tosh oiling him up in a Tosh.0 when they're while he's doing curls and he's oiling up. Something really funny that I can never get out of my brain now. But he's so jacked. I don't know, but when I was one of the first people I ever saw watching stand-up spotlight on VH1 at 10 years old was I think Rosie O'Donnell was the host, and I want to say even Ellen was on there. Neither one of them were famous. They were just kind of getting famous for being funny. And I used to watch a VH1 at 2 a.m. would show Gallagher specials. And I don't know. If it comes down to hey, what do you know Carrot Top for? Oh, he's jacked. He's kind of got a couple smart things, whatever. What about Gallagher? He smashed the watermelons. You're okay. Go with the tarp. You're going to SeaWorld. No, thanks. I didn't go Carrot Top.
Carrot Top it is. I was at some random comedy show actually in Hollywood, Florida. Shout out to
my hometown.
Well, Danica and I have born in Hollywood, Florida. But Gallagher was just randomly sitting in the audience. I'm going to throw out a name for who I think I was seeing, and I hope I don't get backlash, but it was Tom Segura. And I'm pretty sure
Segura is hilarious. I know the deal, but he's friggin' hilarious.
Yeah, but just randomly Gallagher was there. No watermelons to be found, unfortunately. But okay.
So sad.
Next question.
All those unused
Would you
carts.
rather do your makeup like Dee Snider or like Alice Cooper?
Oh,
Nick,
Chris?
what are you going with there?
I'm so
oh man, as much I think for me, I'd put on the Dee Snider, and in my head I'm like, I look like a killer Alice Cooper, and they're like, no, you look like you have too much makeup on, like Dee Snider. But I mean, both those guys rock. Holy cow, they're killers. I don't know. This is the hardest one for me. If I'm going to a Motley Crue show, I go Alice Cooper. It's a little bit more of a killer vibe. Mm-hmm. If you're going to Poison, you go a little bit more Dee Snider. And you're a little more brighter, a little more fun. But then when he plays Every Rose Has a Thorn, that's my pee break. So no. No one is at the bar during Every Rose Has a Thorn. Something to Believe in, way better song, which is my absolute favorite. I get that one to myself because every rose I walk and get everybody drinks because there's not a single person there, and it's my favorite thing. I don't have to wait in line to pee. It's the best.
I used to think that Alice Cooper was in like some sort of faction with The Undertaker. No joke. When I first saw Alice Cooper and I saw The Undertaker, I was like, these are like, they're in the same world here.
Could be. And he's done some WrestleManias, right?
Yeah, WrestleMania 3 with Jake the Snake.
He's with Jake the Snake, yeah.
Right.
And then, that's funny.
Alice Cooper was in Wayne's World, right?
We're not worthy.
I mean, of what a line.
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with
Snyder testified in front of Congress about rock and roll, wearing a vest that I wish I had on right now.
We'll have to get you one.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather be in a roast battle against The Miz or a roast battle against Zack Ryder?
Either one isn't fair to them. But if I'd have to dumb down my material if half the crowd was Riders fans because they're like, oh, toys, and I'm 8 years old, and like whatever, that's funny. But with Miz, my favorite thing I would help him write the jokes, and we'd go head to head. And then when it came time to it, I would take out the teleprompter because he's like Ron Burgundy, to where he just reads off there. He has to have a script. He can't go improv. So either way, it would be a pretty gross slaughter. I would get more joy out of Miz because we've had some more direct competition, and it would feel like I was like punching a baby in the stomach to beat up Zack with a little beard.
A bearded baby.
Wow. I feel like I could actually stand a chance against Zack Ryder in a roast battle, but The Miz is great on the mic. You know, I didn't realize that he needs a teleprompter to make that so good.
Well, we're learning things today. We're learning when to take pee breaks, and we're learning about
any concert, you name it, I'll let you know. Yeah.
Take a note.
All right, I think we should maybe do one more, and then we probably got to wrap it up. So, Danica.
Next music's about to hit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Danica, are you there? Is Danica frozen?
No.
Okay.
I'm so glad it's not me.
Okay, Danica's still frozen, so I'll read it. Would you rather compete on Nailed It or compete on Floor is Lava?
Oh, Floor is Lava, 1,000%. I mean, come on. That show is so incredibly entertaining. Plus, you do not want to see me in a kitchen.
No. But I think that's the point of the show, Chris.
Here's how terrible I am. I only know like The Office from Netflix. So what is Nailed It? The Floor is Lava. Looks like it's genuinely lava. Like people getting burned up.
It's slime. It is a slime type of material.
Okay.
And basically, you can't touch the floor because
you got to jump from obstacle to obstacle to obstacle, and you can't touch the floor because the floor is lava.
All right, Chris.
You nailed it.
Oh,
what's Nailed It?
Are you asking what?
Now, what the hell? Yeah.
So Nailed It is just everyday average people that are not bakers that they put in a scenario where you have to bake very elaborate cakes and cupcakes and cookies, and they turn out horribly, but the show is so funny because what they create
doesn't sound bad.
It's
I like the sound of it. Yeah.
Okay, so Nailed It. All right, well,
Nick would just destroy his lava.
Oh, Danica, hi.
Yay.
Okay, wait. I think that's the end of our game since we got to wrap this up since once again it is Monday night and Raw is on Monday night. So before we do
I gotta go walk to the ring.
Yeah. Out the door, right to the ring.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts from you, Chris or Nick?
Oh boy.
I
Chris?
know.
Well, I hope that my hair looks
Final
as good as
thoughts?
Nick's when I grow up. That's definitely one of my takeaways from this chat.
When you grow up and get a real job, you cut your hair, okay? That's what I got to do. I had a military flat top for 25 years. Now I feel like,
I remember
never had a real
short hair
job.
Dolph
So.
Ziggler.
Yeah, it got in there. Yeah, I forgot I'm only 29, so maybe I only had it for 20 years. Yeah. Everybody be a little bit less gross, and then we can also go into concerts sooner. How about that? I don't know.
That's good.
And
Or
then,
in general.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and sorry for all the computer delays and technology.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's on me. I apologize. I'm glad we got it.
I think we're supposed to take the heel heat, not you, Nick. We weren't.
Oh, that sounds wrong. I
Danica.
don't buy that.
Oh,
for a second.
I'm here for it. It's fine.
Well, Danica, I think you're frozen again. So anyway, adorable. This has
Excellent.
been so technologically sound. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Monday. Make sure to tune into Monday Night Raw. Thanks again to Chris Van Vliet and Nic Nemeth and Danica's gone. She jumped.
And she's exploded. She's in the lava.
She's in the lava.
That's it. The floor was lava.
Floor was lava.
We'll see you guys.
I gotta go do my push-ups.
All right. Go,
Bye, guys.
go do those. Bye.